Here's your tea, Granny. Thank you so much. So anything new with you, Mother? No, not really, but you'll never guess what happened in my street. 2 men who lived together got married. Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's lovely. Lovely? I don't think it is. I don't think it should be allowed. I think it's a disgrace. Makes me sick. But do you not think people should be allowed to do that if they want to do that? You know, it's not hurting anyone. No, I don't. Because once we allow this to happen, they'll let people marry animals next. Just you wait and see. Am I wrong? I'm actually gay myself, so... Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be offensive. I didn't know this. I'm not saying I'd be against you getting married to who you love now. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. It's just, all this is very new to me, you know, like, we didn't have gay people when I was your age, so... I actually am really happy for the 2 men, you know, the gay couple. I'm really, really happy for them. It's just very unusual to me, you know, it's hard to get my head around at my age, you know. Andrew, I'm gonna need every single one of your passwords from all your social media accounts, okay? Why? Because I need to check and make sure that you're not doing anything that you shouldn't be doing. I'm 20 years of age. Yes, I know you are, but I need to go on and make sure you're behaving yourself. Okay, so you want to read my messages then? Well, yes, part of it will be reading the messages that you're sending to people and the ones people are sending you as well. You know, I just want to make sure everything's all appropriate. Okay, so can you give me your passwords, please? No. Excuse me? They're my private messages. You don't have any right to read them. Yeah, I do actually. I'm your mother. That doesn't mean you get to read my messages. Yes, it does. It doesn't. Why are you sending things that you shouldn't be sending? No. Okay, then why don't you let me read them? If you're not sending anything inappropriate, then I should be allowed to read them. Because they're my messages, my private messages. They're not inappropriate, but they're private. You don't need to know everything. Yes, I do. All passwords, please. Now. Hello, everyone. So, we know what time of year it is. It is time to rate the bonfires out of 10 based on how sectarian they are. Okay, so we've had to start with this one. There's no way I could have started this video without this one. This one, like, you can't even describe it as sectarian. Like, it's above that. Like, it's just like a proper racist. Like, who thought of this? Like, who actually got this in their heads to put asylum seekers at the top of a bonfire and put it on fire? Like, who actually thinks about that? I just feel like giving this a 10 out of 10 wouldn't be enough. It has to be an 11. Surely it does. Like, this is just psychotic. Like, wow. I actually heard someone on the radio earlier call this an art installation. An art installation. Words fail me. Okay, so this one has given us new bonfire victims. Kneecap. Yeah, so as you can see, those 3 figures are obviously meant to be kneecap. And we've got, what does that say? Something kneecap. Mara Ida. Oh, that's not in Irish. See, I don't speak Irish, so I'm only realising that now. But interesting that they have Irish on the bonfire, encouraging Irish speaking, you know, like the Irish Language Act. So thank you for that. Of course, they've got like the tricolour and the Palestinian flag, you know, like your typical like bonfire things. Do you know what? I would give this one an 8 because they're burning actual people, which is like targeting people, you know. But I'm going to take a point away and give it a 7 because they are putting Irish on the sign, therefore encouraging the Irish language to thrive. So they kind of did a bit of like publicity, you know, promoting the Irish language. So thank you for that. So we'll give this one a 7. Okay, so our third bonfire, kneecap feature again. Well done, kneecap. Another feature, well done. So the sign there says F, kneecap, and Palestine. You know, typical target of Palestine. And then they've got 2 tricolours. They've got 2 Palestinian flags, and then like another flag I can't really recognise what that is. So, you know, all being said, it's not too bad. They've only got a couple of flags, you know, not too bad. I've seen worse. Some have been absolutely plastered. So I'm going to give this one, you know, I'm going to say a 5 out of 10. It's not too bad. It's quite light on the sectarianism, I would say. Okay, so this one, we've got a massive tricolour. See, when I see the ones like this, I always get so confused because you're never going to find this on St. Patrick's Day. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I go and try and find a tricolour for St. Patrick's Day, I'm never going to find something this big. But the Loyalists on the 11th always seem to find it insane. And they've got that like white thing there, and I can't tell if that's like covering up something really offensive, because I found this from someone's profile on Facebook. So something tells me that they're trying to like cover this up to make it less bad. You know, like not as if they're burning a tricolour, but you know, it's not too bad. Oh my god, also as well, in this field there was like a playground, and it was like a carnival. And there were like children there, like next to this bonfire that's Joy Sectarian. So that like says a lot about this one, doesn't it? I actually am going to give this one a 7 out of 10 because that's a massive tricolour. And the fact I know that like children were playing next to it is just that bit more evil, you know? So quite intrigued by this one. It's more of like a square sort of formation as opposed to the traditional circle, you know, the traditional curved, which is very interesting, you know, kind of doing its own thing here, you know, going against the grain, you know, not conforming to society. Yeah, but quite a lot of tricolours here, aren't there? There's about, I'm counting about 6. No, I'm not. Am I counting 4? I don't know how many I'm counting here, but I think I can see a Palestinian flag there as well. Yeah, and they're very high up, so people have obviously risked their lives to do that. So, I don't know, like, there's no, like, targeting of people. There's no, like, KAT, you know. Do you know what? I'm actually just going to give this one a 6. Yeah, I do like how it's going against the grain, so we'll give them a 6. We'll go a wee bit light on this one just for the creativity, you know. Yeah, so this one, many a tricolour. You can hardly even see the bonfire, the amount of stuff that's on it. They've got a sign there that says end internment. For those that don't know, internment, when they arrested people without, for a trial, you know, without any evidence, you were able to just like arrest people. So apparently they're against that. Are they for that? No, they're for it because they're burning the end internment. So they want people to be arrested without trial. Kind of bad, kind of terrible. Do you know what? I really think this one is really bad. I'm actually going to get this one an 8, you know, just because of the internment thing, because surely we can all agree that's wrong, but apparently not. This one straight up, I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10 because you literally cannot see the bonfire. Like, where's the bonfire? Is this even a bonfire? Don't know, unsure. But yeah, like, they seem you've gotten like every flag, every symbol they could find ever, and just put it all together and just burn it. And that is just, you know, they haven't even been selective about it. It's just ugly. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't understand the idea of minimalism. You know, the best bonfires, in my opinion, are quite minimalist and selective in what they burn. But this one, they were just like, burn it all, which shows the height of the sectarianism, in my opinion. So yeah, we're going to give this one a 10 out of 10. So this one is like perfectly crafted. Like, that curve is just amazing. Like, wow, craftsmanship. This is craftsmanship. However, they've got like quite a range of flags on there. You know, they've got the tricolour. Someone told me last year that was like a Plough in the Stars flag. I got it wrong last year. I thought it was a European Union flag. I was so embarrassed. Yeah, they've got the harp and stuff. They've got the election posters. I think that's the Hunger Strikers, is it? Okay, no, that's not the Hunger Strikers. That's the 1916 memorial. So they're going like way back in their history, you know, burning 1916 things because obviously they're against that. To me, that's like really sectarian because they're like really going back and like doing the research. so they can be as sectarian as possible, you know, like it's kind of hardcore. So, you know, this one, it doesn't have a lot of flags, but it's more like minimalist, you know what I mean? The 1916 one's getting me, it really is. So I think we're gonna go for a 7, you know, because I feel like most historians agree that like 1916 was like fair enough. So yeah. And there we have it. That is the bonfires ranked for another year. I have to say that one with the asylum seekers, like, that has to be the worst bonfire I've ever seen. Like, that is like shocking, isn't it? Like, I think that's worse than the Pope being hanged from it. I have to say, like, I don't think, like, I'm really interested next year to see if they can top that, because my god, wow. But anyway, thank you so much. Love doing this tradition, and yeah, stay safe this year. Mum, can I have a lift to Stephanie's party? Of course you can, Liz. Be more than happy to. Oh, is it okay if I have a lift to work then? For God's sake, Andrew, can you not just get a taxi? What? Does it shock you that I have things to do other than give you a lift? You literally said to give Lewis a lift to a party, but you can't give me a lift to work. I'm not a taxi service. You can get to work by yourself. But why is Lewis getting a lift and not me? Because Lewis never asks for anything. Okay? But if I get a taxi to work, that'll be the first hour of my wage on the taxi. So, welcome to the real world. I don't know, I just think that's favouritism, to be honest. How dare you? How dare you accuse me of having a favourite child? I love you both equally. Well, you're giving Lewis a lift and not me, so clearly you love him more. See, when you have children, you'll understand that that's impossible. Right, so can I have a lift then? No.